Hello, everyone. This is Marie Holiday, and I appreciate everyone showing up for this Hypo-Thon. I want to thank the Weightlifting Geek for putting me on the list to do this. And I see I already got some supporters chiming in. And this is probably about my fourth or fifth time doing this Hypo-Thon. And before I get into this, my part of it, I just kind of want to explain to everyone my style of doing this Hypo-Thon and this lecture. I'm going to acknowledge everyone for showing up. I really do appreciate that. And so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get on down to my part of this Hypo-Thon. Some of the concepts and topics I'm going to talk about is I'm going to introduce the Johari window. So if you don't know what the Johari window is, pay attention. I'm going to introduce a topic on what I can or cannot control. I'm going to introduce a topic in a lecture on people pleasing. I'm going to introduce and I'm going to describe the concept of my book, Awake Financial Freedom. I'm going to introduce and describe of my primary service that I do under my company, which is a professional business coaching. So that's going to be one of the areas I'm going to talk about. And then I'm going to bring it to closure with my lecture on call to action. So with that being said, let's get on down to today's lecture. The Johari window. First of all, the Johari window is a tool. As a licensed clinical addiction expert, I've done this lecture on the Johari window many times throughout my career. But the Johari window was actually created by two American psychologists, Joseph Luth and Harriet Ingham. And the Johari window really is a technique used to help people better understand their relationships in themselves and others. So I don't know if you all can see this, but I'm gonna hold it up. And there's books out on the Johari window. If you can see this, with the Johari window, there's four areas to the panel. There's the O, there's the B, there's the S, and there's the U. And I'm gonna raise up this image again throughout my lecture. But with the open area of the Johari window, the open area of the Johari window, what that stands for is the O is the open area of the Johari window. The open area of the Johari window is information I know about myself and others know too. And if I was to ask the audience, give me some examples of what can qualify to go in the open area of anybody Johari window. And some examples of that in terms of the open area of the Johari window is a person name, do they have kids, do they not have kids, what church they go to, or their favorite food, a restaurant where they go on vacation. And understand that this Johari window is an individual tool. And unfortunately, in the world of social media, some people, their whole life, their whole book is open. They put everything on social media. I woke up this morning, what I ate for breakfast. They'll live stream an argument with their significant other. The whole world is open. So the open area of the Johari window is information that I know about myself and others know too. And then we have the B area, that B area of the Johari window. The B area of the Johari window is the blind area of the Johari window. And if I was to ask people, an example of the blind area of the Johari window is information I do not know about myself, but others know. That's why they call it blind. And if I was to ask, give me some examples of what can qualify to go in the blind area of the Johari window. That's information I do not know about myself, but others know. So that means I know information about you, but you don't know it. You can meet a stranger at the shopping mall, and that stranger is going to know information about you, but you do not know. That's why they call it blind. And some examples of what can qualify to go in the blind area of the Johari window is how you come across to other people, the perception people have of you. You know, a person may think that they're calm, cool, and collected individual, but the minute they leave the room, you know, the individuals in the room may say, well, you know, I don't like that person. You know, they cocky, they got attitude, they're narcissists. So all of that can qualify to go in the blind area of the Johari window. You know, how a person really feels about you can go in the blind area of the Johari window. You know, information that a person might want to tell you, you don't know, but they might want to tell some information to you, can also go in the blind area of the Johari window. And then we have the S, that S area of the Johari window. The S area of the Johari window is the secret area of the Johari window. In the secret area of the Johari window is information that I only know about myself, but others do not know. That's why they call it secret. You know, this is the type of information you're not going to post on your timeline on social media. So information that can go in the secret area of the Johari window. You know, a person may have a gambling addiction, an alcohol addiction, a drug addiction. They may be a thief, or hypochondriac, or infidelity. A person may, you know, you may see that they live in a nice house, you know, go on lavish vacations, trips with the family, but what you might not know is they're $250,000 in debt in credit cards. What you might not know is they owe Internal Revenue Service $250,000 in back income taxes. You know, that would qualify to go into the secret area of the Johari window. A person's sexual preference could qualify to go in the secret area of the Johari window. And then we have the U area of the Johari window. The U area of the Johari window is the unknown area of the Johari window. The unknown area of the Johari window is information that I do not know about myself, and don't nobody else know it either. Your mother don't know it, your father, you don't know it. Nobody in the world knows this information about you. That's why they call it the unknown area of the Johari window. You know, this Johari window, the concept of this window, when I talk about it at the end, ties into building healthy relationships. So some examples of what can go in the unknown area of the Johari window could be repressed memories, anything that we have pushed into the subconscious. Those memories are there, but we just don't know it. Another example can go in the unknown area of the Johari window is the future. Don't nobody know the future. You know, ain't nobody got the ability to know what's going to even happen tomorrow, or one day from now, or 5 years in the future, or 1,000 years in the future. We don't know what the future holds. We don't have the power to do that. Another example can go in the unknown area of the Johari window is time of death. Ain't no medical doctor in the world can specifically tell a person, this is when you are going to die. You know, you hear these stories when people are in the hospital and the doctor come out in the waiting room and tell the family, this person's not going to make it, pull the plug. However, that family member may have a higher belief and faith in God and say, no, I'm not going to go that direction. And the person come out of that coma and doing fine, and etc. So we don't know the future. We don't know the time of death. Repressed memories from adult trauma or childhood trauma. Those repressed memories are unknown, and they really are. So as we look at this Johari window, and I'm gonna link it to a healthy relationship. And when I'm talking about a healthy relationship, I'm talking about a healthy relationship with your mother, father, child, or significant other, any type of productive, healthy relationship, sister, brother, etc. Because a lot of times, you know, when a person got issues going on, problems going on, or rather it's alcohol or drugs or financial problems or depression, a lot of times when they got a lot of things, or when they're irresponsible, or irresponsibility, not holding themselves accountable to do what they need in their household. So a lot of times in a healthy relationship, concerned family members, and if I was to show how this Jahar one is going to shift in a healthy relationship. In a healthy relationship, what's going to happen? People who really love you and are supportive of you, what they're going to begin to do is they're going to begin to tell you things. They're going to be able to self-disclose information from the blind area of the Jahar wonder. And some of that information might be, because remember that blind area of the Jahar wonder is information that a person may want to tell you how they really feel. So when a person is in a healthy relationship, that family member, whether it's a sister, brother, significant other, co-worker, that family member may begin to self-disclose and tell that person, I'm really concerned about your behavior. Your alcohol usage, your drug usage, your lies, your infidelity, your irresponsibility, not paying bills, and etc. And they may really begin to tell you for real on how disappointed they are, how they really feel. And as they self-disclose this information from the blind area of the Jahar wonder, the blind area of the Jahar wonder is going to become smaller as they begin to self-disclose and really tell you all this information that they really been wanting to tell you. That information is going to shift into the open area of the Jahar wonder. So the blind wonder becomes smaller, the open area of the Jahar wonder becomes larger. And then if we take a look at the secret area of the Jahar wonder, because when a person is telling lies and manipulating and keeping secrets, and those secrets will keep you sick. And what happens in any healthy relationship, you may have to make amends to those who you have harmed. You may have to come clean and self-disclose some of that information, whether it's be not paying the bills, alcohol use, drug use, lies, infidelity, reasons why you weren't able to make those family functions for real. And as you self-disclose that information from the secret area, the secret one that becomes smaller, that information shifts into the open area becomes larger. And then with the unknown area of the Jahar wonder, those two psychologists that created this window and wrote these books, with the unknown area of the Jahar wonder, we talked about those repressed memories that has to be dealt with in individual mental health therapists by licensed therapists. And over time, they will help that individual in individual therapy to unsurface some of that information from the unknown area of the Jahar wonder. The unknown area becomes smaller, the information shifts into the open. And as you see over time, as a person grows in a healthy relationship, the Jahar wonder will shift and move gradually over time. I'm just scratching the surface here. And that's the whole concept of this Jahar wonder. A person may be a content creator. In spending so much time as a content creator, rather is uploading information, rather is going on YouTube and showing up to everybody else live and consuming so much time as a content creator, and you might not be aware, or you might not be aware of the perception or how family members are feeling by you utilizing so much time as a content creator, because they might not be telling you. You might not really know how you're coming across that perception, how that family member is really feeling, rather it's the mother, father, sister, brother, significant other, but they really want to tell you, I'm kind of tired of you being on social media so much, because there is a social media addiction. I'm here to tell you. So over time, that family member may tell you one day, I really resent you spending so much time on social media versus spending quality time with family, rather it's eating a dinner, watching movie, going for a walk, and etc. So if they finally tell that person, then that information is released from the blind area of the Jahar wonder. The blind becomes smaller, and it's into the open. So in any healthy relationship, as you notice, in any that Johari Wonder started out looking like that, but in any healthy relationship, our Johari Wonder will gradually shift and move over time. And I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, there's books out on this. I encourage anyone, and I've done this lecture many times in my career in terms of Johari Wonder. There's books out on this. I strongly encourage you to check out these books on the Johari Wonder. It's a powerful tool that ties into healthy relationships. And I've actually done a prior lecture on social media addiction. Any type of addiction is a behavioral concern, and I'm here to tell you. And I see more people are chiming in. I really do appreciate that. So now that's going to lead us into my next topic that I want to do a lecture on is what I can and cannot control. What I can and cannot control. And some of the things that or anybody that is out of my control, what is out of my control or what's out of your control is the past. I have no control of the past. I have no ability to teleport back in time, to change the past, to control the past. I have no control of the future. I have no control of the actions of others. I cannot control the actions of anybody in my zip code or my neighborhood or 1,000 miles away. I have no control of the actions of others. I have no control of the opinions of others. I have no control what happens around me. If something's happening around me, I have no control of that. I have no control in terms of how many people show up to this Hypo-Thon. I can control that. A person can say they're going to show up, but it's ultimately that person's responsibility on whether or not they want to show up. So I have no control of that. I have no control in terms of what other people think of me. There are folks right now listening to this live stream, they've already formulated a thought. I have no control of that. I have no control of the outcome of my efforts. I really do not. I have no control in terms of how others take care of themselves. Rather, you want to eat right or not eat right, or exercise or not exercise, or balance your time on social media. I have no control in terms of the actions of other people. I do not. And I'm here to tell you. I've actually done this lecture throughout my career. I want to say that, appreciate this opportunity of all content creators, but really, most lectures I do in this platform, this social media platform, in any other platform, I'm here to tell you, people will have to pay to listen to this valuable information, because as a licensed clinical addiction expert in my field, I've done lectures at many colleges, universities in the community for a fee. So, really just, be appreciative of this free information you're getting in this particular platform, because I'm here to tell you, there are people, in my profession with the same level of credentials, they don't do lectures for free. People pay a lot of money to receive the information that they do lectures on, rather they're a guest speaker or etc. So I just want to throw that out there. So what's in my control? I want to talk a little bit about in terms of what is in my control. What's in my control is my boundaries. What's in my controls are my thoughts and my actions. That's in my control. What's in my control are the goals that I set for myself. I set a goal for myself beginning May of this year to remove all dead food out of my life, to remove sugar out of my life. And as of today, I have not added any added sugar in my diet. That is a goal that I have for myself, and I'm here to tell you. What's in my control is what I give my energy to. What's in my control is what I give my energy to. What's in my control is how I speak to myself. If I want to give myself positive affirmations on a daily basis, then I have control in regards to doing that. What's in my control is how I handle my challenges, All of those things are in my control. So, like I said, this particular lecture was focusing on what's in my control and what's out of my control. And I'm here to tell you, share this information. This is just really good food for thought in terms of what's in my control and what's out of my control. So now that's going to lead us into, I want to do a lecture on people pleasing. This is another topic I've lectured on before as a content creator or throughout my career. Many people may need to hear this in terms of people pleasing. In reality, people will take over you, aka you have got to stop people pleasing. You got to stop people pleasing. So I'm going to talk about some steps that you can take to stop being a people pleaser. Because if not, people will take over you. So you must learn how to balance your desire to make others happy without sacrificing your own time or energy. So I'm going to present some tips on how to stop being a people pleaser and reclaim your life. In reality, it really is okay in saying no. It really is. So key thing is you got to establish boundaries. It's very important to know your limits and establish clear boundaries, and then communicate those limits. Be clear and specific about what you are willing to take on. Because, Marie Holiday, I'm being honest with you, I value my time. I really do value my time. There are some people who may call me on my cell phone and leave me a message, and they ain't trying to be funny. I don't even return the phone call because they've already made it clear in the message, I want something from you, even if it's my knowledge on a certain topic, because my primary service that I provide under my company is professional business coaching, which you have to pay for those services. So I'm not giving that out free, because you gotta be mindful of that, because some people, they're giving information. They're giving out all this free information, time, and you gotta set clear boundaries. So if it seems like someone is asking for too much, let them know that it's over the bounds of what you are willing to do, and that you won't be able to help them. And it really is okay, because a lot of times, you can empower somebody without necessarily enabling that person. There are also other ways to create boundaries in your life, to help reel in that people-pleasing tendencies. For example, you might only take phone calls at a certain time, to set limits on when you are able to talk. Because number one, I'm not answering my phone every time somebody called me. That's the purpose of leaving a message. You might also explain that you are only available for a specific period of time. This can be helpful because it ensures that you have control of not only what you're willing to do, but also when you are willing to do it. I'm here to tell you. Another tip in terms of not being a people pleaser is to start small. It can be hard to make a sudden change. So it's often easier to begin by asserting yourself in small ways. Changing behavior patterns can be difficult, but in many cases, you not only have to retrain yourself, but you also have to work on teaching the people around you to understanding your limits. Because of this, it can be helpful to start with small steps to help you to work your way to being a less of a people pleaser. Start by saying no to smaller requests. For example, you may say, try saying to text me your request. To have that person to send you a text, and that'll give you an opportunity to respond to it. And it, again, is no problem in saying no, because the key thing is you gotta reclaim your energy and time. So it's something that's zapping your energy or taking too much of your time. Take steps to address the problem. Because our time and our energy is very, very precious. Precious. As we practice, set those boundaries and saying no to things you don't really want to do. If you don't really want to do it, tell the person. Bottom line. You will find that you have more time to devote to the things that are really important to you. One thing I like about this Hypo-Thon, they do it once a month. Once a month with various of time slots to select from. So I like selecting that first time slot, do my part and go ahead and get rest. And if I can catch other people throughout that 24-hour time frame, I will. And if I can't, I can't. But I like the flexibility in that 24-hour time frame. Will I be able to make the whole 24 hours? Absolutely not, because I have other things that I have to do with my time. Another tip is try positive self-talk. If you start to feeling overwhelmed or tempted to say yes, build up your resolve with positive self-talk. Remind yourself that you deserve to have time for yourself. Your goals are important, and you should not feel obligated to give away your time or energy on things that don't bring you joy, bottom line. These are all some valuable tips that I've used throughout my life in terms of setting boundaries and reclaiming my time and energy. And I've actually done this lecture in many treatment facilities and etc. You got to assess your requests. That's another tip. You got to assess your requests. Another step towards overcoming being a people pleaser is to look for signs that other people are trying to take advantage of your generosity, because people really will take advantage of your generosity, especially if they recognize that you are a yes person. Are there people who will always seem to want something? Absolutely. But are suddenly unavailable if you need them to return the favor? Or do some people seem to be aware of your generosity or your generosity nature and ask because they know that you won't say no? If it feels like you are being manipulated into doing things, take some time. You gotta take time to assess the situation and decide on what you want to do to handle their request. It's okay in telling a person, I get bite with you, and that'll really give you time to really think about the request and to decide on whether or not you want to say yes or no. Another key tip is avoid making excuses. It's important to be direct when you say no and avoid blaming other obligations or making excuses for your inability to participate or saying yes to the request. Because once you start explaining why you can't do something, you are giving others a way to poke holes in your excuses, or you may be giving them the chance to adjust their requests. So to ensure that you can still do what they are asking, Try using a decisive tone when you are declining something, and resist the urge to add unnecessary details about your reasoning. Remind yourself that no is a complete sentence. You don't have to go all dug deep in the detail in regards to simply saying no. Because remember, you know, that relationships require give and take. And that's any type of healthy relationship. A strong, healthy relationship involves a degree of reciprocity in one person. If one person is always given and the other person is always taken, it often means that one person is foregoing things that they truly need. And that thing can be time or energy. So to ensure that the other person has what they want, even if you enjoy pleasing others. So it is important to remember that they should also be taking steps to give to you in return. That's got to work both ways. And I'm no relationship expert, but that's just flat old fashioned common sense. And I'm here to tell you, help when you want to help. You don't need to give up being kind and thoughtful. Those are desirable qualities that can contribute to strong, lasting relationships. But the key is to examine your motivation and intention. Don't do things because you fear rejection or want the approval of others. Keep doing things, but on your own terms. And I'm here to tell you, because again, one thing that we cannot, once we've lost that time, or once we gave up that energy, that is something that's gone and we cannot take it back. And I'm here to tell you. So if being a people pleaser is making it difficult to pursue your own happiness, it is important to find ways to set boundaries and take back your time, your energy, and bottom line, to reclaim your life. Or it can be reclaiming your money. You know, remind yourself that you can't please everybody. You know, and as a content creator, we got to realize we ain't going to be able to be in everybody's live. You know, because, you know, I'm Marie Holiday, and I would hope most people got a life outside of YouTube. A real life when you ain't in front of these cameras. Because in reality, life goes on. You still got to get up and go to work and manage the business of the household, tend to your kids, your family, pay bills, deal with traffic, deal with heat. That's reality right there. Because the world of social media is not reality. We have got to understand that we gotta have a balance. We gotta make sure that we de-plug and deal with real life. Interact and talk to real people in the real world. Enjoy nature. Go on walks. That's real life right there. So we gotta strike a balance and make sure that we are and I actually did a lecture on that in terms of the fake world of social media. So we gotta be able to strike a balance, because in front of this camera is not the real world. My real world is when I go off of this camera, and I'm here to tell you. So remind yourself that you can't please everyone. If being a people pleaser is interfering with your well-being, there's lots of help out there. You can take these tips and strategies. You can talk to a licensed counselor in terms of the problem of being a people pleaser. A trained therapist can work with you to help you manage your behavior, prioritize your own needs, and establish healthy boundaries. And I'm here to tell you. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have gotten something out of this portion of the lecture in terms of being a people pleaser. And now that's going to lead us into the next topic, which is I'm always, as a content creator, going to spend some time marketing my brand, marketing my book, because as a content creator, I tell anybody, use this YouTube platform, Marie Holiday, as a monetized content creator, whether monetized or not. I'm going to use this platform to also market my primary business, Paris and Associates Resource Center. I'm going to use this platform to market my book, Awake Financial Freedom, because YouTube don't pay my bills. You're not even close. And I'm here to tell you. And that's reality. That is reality. I also treat YouTube also as another stream of income, but that stream of income ain't making an impact on my building my financial wealth. That's one of the reasons I use this platform. I'm always going to use this platform to talk about my book. I'm going to describe and talk about the concept of my book, Awake Financial Freedom. If you have not checked out my book, or Awake Financial Freedom, it can be ordered from any major platform. But to describe my book, the concept of my book, Awake Financial Freedom, is I became spiritually awake in 2012 after living in 5 years of financial destruction. As a result, I share my experience in my book. It's a testimony. The overall concept of the book is for the reader to gain insight into how I rose from financial destruction to gaining financial freedom in all areas of my life, such as restoring my credit score to an 800. I wrote my manuscript. My book hit all the major bookstores over a year ago. However, I spent over a year writing my manuscript. So in my book, I talk about in terms of how I restored my credit score from a 340. Currently, as I speak, my credit score is over now 900. The concept of the book is how I describe how I invest aggressively into multiple 401ks, retirement accounts, diversifying my portfolio. I increased the value of my home without going into debt. I actually sold that home, made a huge profit, purchased my retirement trailer. I'm very close to getting ready to retire this summer, debt-free. And I also talk about how I mastered the skills of saving and keeping money in my emergency savings account and staying away from credit cards. I have no doubt that the reader will gain valuable information from my inspiring, thought-provoking, motivational book. From 2007 to 2012, Marie Holiday was living in financial destruction. And even from 2012 now to 2023, I still use my book. I'll go back and reread my book and use some of those same tips and strategies to sustain my financial freedom, being able to exit up out of this workforce, retiring young with multiple retirement checks that will hit me for the rest of my life. That's power. That is the type of information really people need to know about, because nobody could have told me when I was living in financial destruction without one penny to my name, not 1 cent. No one could have told me, in a couple of months, I would be able to exit out of this workforce and I would never have to work again for the rest of my life, with multiple retirement checks hitting me for the rest of my life, not counting passive income from my book, my royalty checks from my publishing company that will hit me for the rest of my life. Another stream of income from my business, Paris and Associates Resource Center, that's 20 years strong. That's power. You owe it to yourself, and I have to steal everything that I went through and the skills God gave me when I had this spiritual battle in 2012 to write my testimony, to write my book. I have to still use those same tips and strategies from 2012 to now to sustain my financial freedom. I have light bill and insurance and food, but I will not have a mortgage, a car note, credit cards, school loans. That's zero debt. That's real debt. And that's power right there. And no one No one could have told me I would be having this conversation today, because, we got to break that mindset. We as a people need to break that mindset with the concept, because I watch my parents and grandparents working themselves to death on jobs. At the young age of 23, I had to bury my mother. She was 49 years old. She worked herself to death. When I saw that, I said, there's got to be another way, and we need to pass this information down. I have a 30-year-old daughter, and she got the mindset already that I'm not working myself to death. We got to pass down generational wealth versus passing down generational poverty. If you have not read my book, you owe it to yourself that it's power. That's power in being able to do things like that. And so I can begin to start a new chapter in my life in terms of, and one of those things I'm going to do the minute I get up out of this workforce, I'm on the trajectory path to go see the 7 wonders of the world. That's life. That's life right there. And that's power. And I'm here to tell you, that is where we need to be, right there. That is where we need to be. And if I was able to do all that, and along that journey, I paid my mortgage off 20 years early. That's power. That's power right there. And self-funded my daughter through college, even though she's been in the Navy for 7+ years. But and I did that without creating debt for her, because I didn't want my child on school loans for the rest of her life. So I self-funded my daughter through college, where she wouldn't be strapped with debt for the rest of her life. That's power. And it's all laid out in my book. And I use my same book to sustain my financial freedom. And that's what it's all about right there. That is the concept of my book. And I'll be forever grateful for God giving me the skills to rise above my financial situation. I was borrowing for Peter to pay Paul, going to work every day, drowning in a sea of debt, credit card debt on type of credit card debt. I remember there was a time in my life, my car note was 5 months in arrears. 5 months in arrears on a car note. Credit card hit me left and right, overdraft in my bank account, didn't have a penny to my name. And nobody could have told me, I would be having this conversation today. That is the concept of my book. I'll be forever grateful for Page Publishing Company, who transformed my manuscript into a published work. I tell to each his own, but I tell anybody there's power when your book is backed by a world-renowned publishing company. I make money in my sleep. My book can be purchased in any bookstore, anywhere in the world, or you can order it from Amazon, and I will get royalty checks for the rest of my life. If something was to happen to me, that money will go to my daughter. That's when you begin to transfer wealth. That's power right there. I will be forever grateful for Page Publishing Company in publishing my book. That publishing company, they handle all of the details involved in publishing your book, including distribution in the world's largest retail outlets, in royalty generation. Page Publishing understands that authors should be free to create, not be bogged down with the logistics like ebook conversion, establishing wholesale accounts, insurance, shipping, taxes, and so I don't have to worry about none of that. So Page Publishing Company, I will be forever grateful for them. And pretty soon, my published book, as we speak, my selected narrator is in the studio trying to transform my published book into an audio book, which will also drive sales. And when that audio book is available, I'm going to do a live stream to let everyone know that the audio book is available. In the process of getting those narrators ready, my publishing company, they sent me 3 different narrators. I had to listen to all 3 of their voices. And the third narrator, when I heard her voice, that her voice, her tone, her pitch was congruent with the concept of my book. It was something that really moved me in listening to her voice. So I selected her to be the narrator to transform my published book into an audio book. So pretty soon that's coming down the pipeline. I actually forwarded to my daughter a clipping of that voice of that narrator. She was very impressed with also the pitch and the tone. So looking forward to that coming down the pipeline in terms of my book. It's pretty soon will be available in audio book, and that'll be another stream of income. And I'm gonna do a lecture on when that's available on my YouTube channel. And again, that'll be more way to drive sales to my book. And I'm here to tell you. And I use this platform always to market my book. So that's the business side. That's the business side, or the mindset that we should have as a content creator, is to utilize this platform to market your other services, to market your brand, to market your business that needs to be separate from being a content creator. Because YouTube can shut me down right now. Let me tell you something. YouTube can shut my channel down right now, but that is not going to stop my royalty checks hit me for the rest of my life behind my book. That's not going to stop my stream of income from my primary service, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. My company, Parents and Associates Resource Center, well, one of the primary services I do is going to execute a contract for folks who want to hire me to develop their strategic business plan. My company, 20 years strong. My company been around long before YouTube. So if YouTube was to shut me down right now, that is not going to stop me generating income from under my company. That's not going to stop my royalty checks. That's not going to stop Marie Holiday. And I'm here to tell you. And that's the mindset that we need to have, because a lot of people are just so YouTube driven, and no matter how much money they're making on the YouTube, but if everything is so YouTube driven and they ain't got nothing over here on the right, that's their brand, their company, their business, then if YouTube was to shut their channel down, then their money gone. You don't ever want to be in that position. You want to have the mindset that you want to have multiple streams of income. And I'm here to tell you, that's the mindset that we need to have as content creators. And I'm here to tell you. So now that's going to lead us to me talking about my primary service, my company. And I'm going to put a link in this description. I put a link in all my lectures, on a link to my business website, a link to my how to purchase my book, and my video trailer, because I'm going to market my stuff. That's my primary focus right there. My company, Parents and Associates Resource Center, I phased out all of my clinical services throughout the years. I made a pretty good money under my company providing clinical services, clinical evaluations, substance abuse evaluations, clinical supervision, training under my professional licensure as a licensed clinical addiction expert. But throughout the years, the past few years, I phased out all of my clinical services. I took a financial hit, and I brought aboard new services. I wrote my book under my company, and I revisited, because I've done professional coaching throughout my career under my company, but I brought life back to my professional business coaching services. So the primary services that I provide under Parents and Associates Resource Center, my primary service, my bread and butter under my company, which does generate significant income that has an impact on my financial wealth. As a professional business coach, I will help clients change in a way they wish and help them to go in the direction they want to go. My coaching sessions will support clients at a specific level in achieving an identified goal as indicated in the strategic business plan. Each coaching session will build awareness, empower choice, and lead to change. The primary focus of each coaching session will be to focus on helping clients to unlock their own potential. Rather, it is to develop their initial business plan or to update their existing business plan, or to create an initial business plan for writing a book. Because again, I wrote my book under my company. I had identified goals and measurable objectives with projected due date in writing that manuscript. So to create an initial business plan for writing a book, or to create an initial business plan for starting your YouTube channel, you need to have identified goals as a content creator. You need to have identified goals and measurable objectives for your YouTube channel. Simply put, coaching involves the belief that people have the answers to the questions they are seeking within them. The role of the professional business coach is to simply help the person unlock those potentials. So one of the things I'm doing right now is, and I really do need for you to check out my business website, is right now, because I'm still in the workforce, and once I get out of this workforce, it's going to be able to free me up to kind of cultivate this service. But I'm only establishing a wait list right now for the professional business coaching. I'm only doing a wait list. I'm not providing those services now. And the reason why I'm developing a wait list, and I only want a maximum of 10 paid customers under my company to provide those services, because my game plan is, again, and I'm going to keep a balance. My game plan is to keep a balance. I do not want no more than 10 paying customers, because if I have more than 10 paying customers, then that's going to interfere with my balance in traveling the world, and I'm not going to let that happen. My goal is to keep my primary services under my company in hobby mode. I will not go beyond 10 paying customers, because again, that this will be just another stream of income. You know, my money I generate under my company, I'm using all that money just to reinvest, to continue to build my wealth. That money will not be used to pay bills. So that's one of the reasons I'm gonna keep it in hobby mode, and I'm here to tell you. So check out my business website. I'm gonna leave a link in the description of this video to my business website, to my company, Paris & Associates Resource Center. And I also want to spend a little bit of time, and lecturing like this is not easy, trust me, but I've been doing it for over 30 years, so it kind of comes natural. I want to talk about a little bit about my roadmap to go after my first 1,500 subscriber milestone. I want to talk a little bit about that. And I actually spend a significant amount of time, anytime when I'm in the natural environment, I'm going to meet people to market my channel, and I'm going to also share with the listener in regards to some other things I'm doing to go after my first 1,500 subscriber milestone. And it's a business move. It's a business strategic move. And as content creators, we need to be open and receptive to many things that we can do to grow our channel. One of the things I do, and not just for my YouTube channel, but also I do YouTube paid advertising to not just market my YouTube channel. I do YouTube paid advertising to market my company, Paris & Associates Resource Center, to market my book, Await Financial Freedom, and to market my YouTube channel. You know, and if you're doing YouTube paid advertising, whatever amount that you pay for those advertising is a business write-off. So I would be able to file that as a business write-off under my company, Paris & Associates Resource Center, because I have identified goals on my strategic business plan that tie into being a content creator, and also that is a part of the service I provide under Paris & Associates in terms of being a content creator. So I'm doing YouTube paid advertising in many areas to promote my book, to promote my channel, to promote my brand and my company. Also, what I'm doing on my part to increase my subscribers is I do a minimum of 7 shorts per week, and I've been doing a minimum of 7 live screens per week. So that's 14 times that I'm presenting as a content creator on my channel information to the masses. And I'm noticing I'm getting more subscribers through my shorts. So that's something I'm doing on my end to grow my channel. Also, as you see here, I participate in the Hypo-Thon once a month. And I believe this is probably about my 5th Hypo-Thon. In the ongoing market, another thing I do is ongoing marketing in the natural environment to get natural subscribers. I'm not just marketing my YouTube channel in the natural environment. I'm marketing my company. I'm marketing my book, because that's my primary focus. My primary focus is Paris and Associates. YouTube as a content creator is just one of the goals or one of the services that I provide under my company. So, and the key thing too is how I grow my channel is I continue to provide content that's educational, thought-provoking, inspiring, uplifting, motivational, all the way around. I do a lot of due diligence behind the scene to prepare for my lectures, to research my lectures. That takes time. You know, you're not going to be able to just rattle off and do a lecture on Johari window unless you've done your research on it, unless you've read books on the Johari window, unless you know about the topic, know about the concept, or etc. Or if I do a lecture on the disease concept of addiction, I'm going to go and look at updated material on the disease concept of addiction. You know, my book, my testimony is literally a blueprint on how a person can rise above their financial situation or maintain their financial situation. My book is a powerful resource for anyone at any financial point in their life, and I'm here to tell you. So again, you know, I hope you all have gotten something out of the concepts that I presented. You know, the Johari window, don't be a people pleaser. I introduced my company, Paris and Associates Resource Center. I introduced my book, Awake Financial Freedom. You know, I talked about the importance of having a strategic business plan. And what if you are providing a service, I don't care what you're doing, if you do not have a business plan in place with identified goals, you know, as long as I've been in business, I've always knew to have a business plan in place with identified goals on the far left of that business plan. In the middle of that business plan, you really need 3 or 4 measurable objectives that link to the goal. And then on the far right of that business plan, you need to have a projected due date on when that goal is going to be completed. And the reason why you need a projected due date, because that due date is going to hold you accountable to follow through on what you say that you are going to do on that strategic business plan. And if you don't have that business plan in place, that's basic business 101, you are setting yourself up for failure. And I'm here to tell you, my business plan is currently 19 pages long. You got to be periodically looking at that business plan, touching that business plan, updating that business plan, revising that business plan. And every time you achieve a goal, on that business plan, you're writing down that completion date. And I'm here to tell you, for me, you know, goal completion is a powerful motivational driving force to move forward to the next goal. To be honest with you, I've been goal focused since 5 years old. I've been writing goals down since I was 5 years old in terms of what I want to do and the steps I need to take to complete the goal. And that's one of the reasons why that's the primary service under my company to people who want to go into an executed contract with me to hire me to develop their strategic business plan over the course of 4-page paid coaching sessions. Each coaching session is going to be a maximum of 30 minutes. And by the time they complete that 4th paid coaching session, they're going to walk away with an executed business plan in Word document, which is a roadmap in terms of the what behind on what they need to do, bottom line. And I'm here to tell you. So ladies and gentlemen, I really do appreciate everyone chiming in to support this Hypo-Thon, to support my part of the Hypo-Thon. I really do thank all my supporters for listening in. And it look like I'm right at the 1 hour mark, and I can time really go by fast. For me, when you're a content creator and presenting all of this valuable information. But I really do want to thank everyone for chiming in. I want to thank everyone for your support. And so with that being said, that's all I have. Simplify, simple fidelis. And I'm going to leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.